I proposed to Sarah under fairy lights in our backyard on a warm April evening. The ring caught the glow perfectly as she said yes, tears streaming down her face. My parents were there, my siblings too. Mom hugged Sarah tight. Dad shook my hand with this proud smile. Everything felt right, perfect even. I remember thinking this was exactly how building a family should feel, but I had no idea they were already planning something behind our backs. It started 1 week later at what I thought was just a normal family dinner. Before I dive into what happened next, I would love to know where you are watching this from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you have ever dealt with family drama around your engagement or wedding, hit that like button so I know I am not alone in this. Make sure to subscribe because this story gets wild. We are talking about secret trips, stolen money, and a Facebook post that changed everything. Trust me, you will want to hear how I handled what my family did next. So let me take you back to that dinner. It was a Saturday evening, 1 week after the proposal. My parents live in this modest ranch-style house in the suburbs where they have been for 30 years. Dad is 58, retired from the postal service. Mom is 55, works part-time as a nurse. My sister Jessica is 27, does marketing. My brother David is 32 and between jobs at the time. Sarah and I showed up around 6. The smell of pot roast hit us the moment we walked in. Mom had set the table with her good china, the stuff she only brings out for special occasions. David was already there, cracking jokes about his old boss. Jessica kept showing us vacation photos on Instagram from her coworkers. Sarah helped Mom carry dishes from the kitchen. I felt grateful. Everything seemed perfect. We sat down for dessert. Mom brought out her famous apple pie. That is when things shifted. Mom set down the pie and said they had been thinking. They wanted to do something really special for my engagement. Something memorable. A trip, maybe. I got excited. I asked where they were thinking. Jessica piped up that Mom had been researching Bora Bora. The resorts looked incredible, she said. I turned to Sarah, squeezed her hand, asked if she could imagine how amazing that would be. Sarah smiled. Mom talked about overwater bungalows and crystal clear water. It would be perfect, she said. Then Jessica said it would be nice, just us family bonding. I stopped. I asked what she meant by just us. There was this awkward silence. Mom explained that this would be a family trip. Our family. I got confused. I said Sarah is going to be my family. Dad jumped in, said she is not family yet, not officially. David added that it has always been the 5 of us on family trips. Come on, he said. Sarah's smile froze. She looked down at her plate. She said it was okay, she understood, but her voice wavered. I noticed her hand trembling as she reached for her water glass. She bit the inside of her cheek, this habit she has when she gets nervous. Her eyes would not meet mine. I tried to make sense of it. I told Mom and Dad this did not make sense. The trip was to celebrate our engagement. Mom said exactly they were celebrating me, their son. I said Sarah is part of this. She is the whole reason we are celebrating. Jessica interrupted, told me not to make this weird. It is just one trip. David agreed. He said Sarah would have plenty of family trips after the wedding. Dad said to think about it practically. Adding another person changes the whole dynamic. Then Mom brought up money. She said honestly, they were thinking since this is for my engagement. I asked what she was saying. Dad said it would mean a lot if I could help cover the costs. The silence was heavy. I asked if they wanted me to pay for a trip that excludes my fiancé. Mom quickly said they did not say exclude, just that it is a family thing. Jessica rolled her eyes, asked why I was being so dramatic. Dinner ended awkwardly. Sarah insisted on helping clean up despite the tension. Mom was cold to her, said they had it covered. The goodbye hugs were stiff and brief. The car ride home was silent for the first 5 minutes. Finally, Sarah said maybe they have a point. Maybe she is rushing things. I told her absolutely not. She was not rushing anything. They were being unreasonable. But doubt crept into my mind. Was I being ungrateful? They did raise me. The next morning I called Mom. It was Sunday. Sarah was making French toast, trying to act normal. I stepped onto the balcony for privacy. Mom answered all cheerful, asked if I had thought more about Bora Bora. I told her I needed her to understand something. This is our engagement, mine and Sarah's. Her tone shifted. She said she knew that, but marriage is also about honoring your original family. I asked what that even meant. She said the family who raised me, who sacrificed for me. Then came the guilt trip. She asked if I remembered when I was 7 and had pneumonia. I asked what that had to do with anything. She said they did not have insurance. Dad worked double shifts for 6 months to pay hospital bills. I felt this gut punch. She kept going. They had never asked me for anything, never made me feel obligated. They just wanted one trip, one memory with their son before he starts his own family. Dad got on speakerphone. He said Mom had been looking forward to this. I said I wanted to make memories too, but Sarah should be included. Dad said she would be at the wedding, at holidays, at everything after. But this is different. I asked how. He paused for a long time then, said, because they are losing me, and they are not ready yet. There was silence. I told him they were not losing me, but I would not pay for something that hurt Sarah. Mom asked if I was choosing her over them. I said I was not choosing anyone over anyone. I was asking for basic respect. Dad said they would talk about this later. Clearly, I needed time to think. They hung up. I went back inside. The French toast was cold. Sarah asked how it went. I said they did not get it. She suggested maybe she should just tell me to go make peace with my family. I said no. This was not right. I knew it was not right, but those seeds of doubt had been planted. Was I destroying my family over this Wednesday evening? I was at work when Dad called. I answered. He said we needed to talk numbers. I was already uncomfortable. He said he had been pricing out this Bora Bora trip. I tried to interrupt, but he told me to hear him out. Flights for 4 people, $4,200. Resort for 5 nights, $6,000. Food activities, transportation, roughly $2,000. Total about $12,200. I went silent, calculating. That was almost our entire wedding venue deposit. Dad started justifying it. He said this celebration was for me. I tried to speak, but he cut me off. He said, let me finish. He and Mom were not in a position to cover this right now. I knew that was true. They had been struggling since his retirement. He said David lost his job 3 months ago. Jessica was barely making rent. They had been helping David with bills. Mom's hours got cut at the hospital. I felt the pressure building. Then came the emotional manipulation. Dad said, all they were asking was for me to invest in making one last memory as their family. I brought up Sarah again. He said Sarah has her whole life with me ahead. Cannot we have this one thing? I said $12,000 is a lot of money. Sarah and I are saving for things. He cut me off, asked for what a wedding, a house. Those things will happen anyway. But Mom, she is not getting any younger. His voice cracked. She talks about this every day, about having one perfect trip with all her kids. I asked why Sarah could not come and make it 6 people. He said because that changes everything. The dynamic, the meaning. I said the meaning should be celebrating my future, which includes Sarah. He said coldly that I guess we see things differently. Think about it, he said. We need an answer by Friday. He hung up. I sat at my desk, could not focus on code. My coworker asked if I was okay. I said family stuff. I drove home in a daze. Sarah saw my face, immediately asked what happened. I explained everything. She said, $12,000, that is our venue deposit. I said I knew. She said, but they are my parents. I told her I was not paying for them to exclude her. I did not care if it was $12 or $12,000. Sarah hugged me, said she loved me for that. but I felt sick with guilt and confusion. Thursday, the text messages started. Jessica in the morning said, "Seriously, I was going to ruin this for Mom." At noon, she said, "Mom cried all night. I hope you are happy." In the afternoon, she said, "I had changed so much since Sarah, like I was a different person." By evening, she said, "We used to be close now. I was choosing some girl over my own sister." I did not respond. She sent one more. "Fine, ignore me. You are good at that now." Thursday evening, David called. He asked what was going on. I explained my side. He said he got it, but it is just one trip. I asked if he would exclude Melissa, his girlfriend, from a celebration of his engagement. He said that was different. I asked how. He sighed, said, "Look, he needed me to do this." I asked why. He said because if I did not, they would probably ask him to chip in, and he literally had $93 in his checking account. I asked if he wanted me to pay, so he did not have to. He said he wanted me to pay because they raised us, we owe them. I said we did not owe them conditional love. He said, "Whatever, be selfish then." He hung up. Friday morning, I opened my email. Subject line from Mom, from your mother's heart. It opened with baby photos of me. The text said she held me when I was born, 22 hours of labor. She and Dad built their whole life around us kids. They gave up their dreams. Dad wanted to open his own business. She wanted to go back to school. But they put everything into raising us right, making sure we had opportunities. She asked if I remembered my college tuition. They took out loans they were still paying off. David's rehab when he was $15,000 out of pocket. Jessica's car accident, they covered her medical bills when insurance would not. They have never, not once, asked us kids to repay them. This trip was not about money. It was about showing them they mattered. It was about 1 week where they could feel like they succeeded as parents. If I could not do this one thing, she did not know what that said about how they raised me. It ended with, "Love, Mom." I read that email 3 times. My hands were shaking. I showed Sarah. She said, "This is manipulative." I asked what if she was right. What if I was being selfish? Sarah said, "No, listen to me. I was being treated selfishly. There is a difference." I said, "My mom has never written me something like this." Sarah said, "Because she has never not gotten her way before." Reality clicked. Sarah was right. But it still hurt. Friday evening, I initiated a family video call. I said we needed to talk, all of us. The screen showed Frank and Patricia on their couch, Jessica in her apartment, David in his car. I said I had thought about this a lot. Here is my answer. Mom leaned forward. I said I was not paying for this trip as currently planned. Mom's face fell. Jessica asked if I was kidding. I said, "Let me finish. I have a counter-proposal." I said I would contribute $3,000 toward a family celebration. Mom tried to interrupt, but I said I was not done. That $3,000 could go toward either option A, a nice engagement party here in town, backyard, catering, photographer, everyone invited, including Sarah, or option B, a smaller trip somewhere closer, maybe a beach weekend in California, budget version, but Sarah comes. Dad said that was not the same as Bora Bora. I said he was right, but it was what I could afford while still respecting my fiancé. Jessica said this was ridiculous. They already told me. It was a family trip. I said, "Sarah is my family." Jessica said, "No, she is not. Not yet." I said, "Actually, she is more family to me right now than they were being." Mom gasped, asked how I dared. David tried to calm things down. I said I dared because it was true. Family does not exclude. Family does not manipulate. Dad told me to watch my mouth. I asked, or what he would guilt trip me more, send more emotional emails. Mom was crying now, said after everything they had done. I said I appreciated everything, but that did not give them the right to disrespect Sarah. Jessica said I was ruining this family. I said no, they were testing this family. And honestly, we were failing. I gave them the bottom line. I had given 2 options that worked for me. If neither worked for them, that was fine. plan whatever they wanted. But I would not be paying for it, and I would not be attending if Sarah was not welcome. Mom asked if I was really going to choose her over them. I said I was choosing respect. If that meant choosing her, then yes. There was a long silence. Dad said, "I think we are done here." The screens went black one by one. I sat alone, heart pounding. Sarah appeared, put her hand on my shoulder, said I did the right thing. I asked then why did I feel so awful. The first 2 weeks after that confrontation, there was complete silence. No calls, no texts. The family group chat showed my messages delivered but unread. Sarah said maybe they needed time to cool off. I tried to focus on work and wedding planning, but guilt was gnawing at me. Did I overreact? 2 weeks later, Sunday morning, my phone rang. Caller ID showed Mom. My heart jumped with relief mixed with anxiety. I answered. Her voice sounded small and weak. She said, "Brian, honey." I said, "Mom, hi." She said she was sorry it had been so quiet. I said I had been worried. She said she knew and she was sorry. They had all been doing some thinking. She said I was right about some things. I sat up. "Really?" I asked. She said they should not have asked so much of me. The trip, they had decided to cancel it. I said, "Oh, okay, I was sorry, it did not work out." She said it was fine, I was right, they needed to think smaller. I felt relief wash over me. I said I was glad we could move past this. She said, "Me too, sweetheart." Then she pivoted. She said actually that was partly why she was calling. My relief faded. I asked what was wrong. She said things had gotten really tight financially. She explained that with David unemployed, they had been covering his rent. Jessica's car broke down $800 in repairs. Dad's pension check was late this month. Her voice was breaking. They were behind on utilities. She got specific. The electric bill was $352. They were threatening to shut off power. Water bill was $118. They had not done a grocery run in 2 weeks. They needed about $400 for food. I did mental math. So around $950, I asked. She said she knew it was a lot, and after everything, she had no right to ask. But it was going to be 98 degrees this week without air conditioning. She trailed off, crying softly. Sarah, overheard, whispered, asking what was wrong. I covered the phone, told her they needed money for bills. Sarah asked after everything. I felt torn, said. But if they really needed it, Sarah said they were still my parents. Her kindness decided it. I told Mom I would transfer the money today. She said, "Oh, Brian, thank you. I was such a good son." She promised they would pay me back. I said not to worry about it, just take care of themselves. She said they would, and Brian. She really was sorry about the trip situation. They were wrong. I said, "Thanks, Mom, that means a lot." They hung up. I logged into my bank account. I transferred $950 with the memo for bills. Love you guys. I showed Sarah. She said I was a good person. I said I just did not want them to suffer. Sarah asked even after how they treated her. I said that was on them, not on me. I felt like maybe things would get better. Maybe they learned their lesson. 3 weeks later, it was a Friday night in mid-May. Sarah and I were at our apartment making dinner together. She was cooking her specialty chicken parmesan. Music was playing. It was relaxed. For the first time in weeks, I felt light. Sarah was cooking. I was setting the table. I opened Facebook to check a message from a college friend. I scrolled through my feed mindlessly. Then I saw it. Jessica's profile picture had updated. New post from 5 hours ago. Location tag: Four Seasons Resort, Bora Bora. The main photo showed Mom and Dad on a pristine beach, turquoise water behind them. Mom wore a new sundress with a flower in her hair. Dad wore a linen shirt, cocktail in hand. Both were beaming. The caption said, "Family engagement celebration in paradise. So blessed to have this time together," with hashtags for Bora Bora family vacation, blessed engagement trip, family first. I clicked through the photo album with shaking hands. Photo 2 showed Jessica in an infinity pool, with sunset behind her. Her caption said, "Living my best life worth the wait." Photo 3 had David doing a jet ski. Photo 4 showed all four of them at a fancy restaurant. Mom had commented on that one saying, "Best vacation ever, so grateful." Photo 5 was the overwater bungalow exterior. Photo 6 showed champagne breakfast on a private deck. I checked the dates. I had transferred money on April 23rd. Today was May 14th. 3 weeks exactly. Jessica's first post was from May 9th, 5 days ago. Based on the posts, the trip looked like a full week. My vision tunneled. There was ringing in my ears. The phone almost slipped from my hand. I said loudly, "Sarah, Sarah." She turned, saw my face, asked what was wrong. She rushed over. I handed her the phone. I could not speak. Her face went through confusion, shock, then fury. She said, "They with your money." I finally said they lied. They lied. I looked at the comment section. Friends of Jessica said, "Oh my gosh, looks amazing." Mom's friend Linda said, "You deserve this, Pat, enjoy." David's buddy said, "Dude, Bora Bora, that is insane." Jessica replied, saying it was a last-minute thing, so spontaneous. There was no mention of me. No mention of the engagement actually being mine. It was framed like their family trip. I opened my banking app with shaking hands. I checked the account I had added them to as authorized users years ago for emergencies. Last time I checked was 3 weeks ago. New charges appeared. Delta Airlines $4,200 for 4 tickets to Papeete. Four Seasons Bora Bora $6,100. Resort restaurant charges of $380, $290, and $410. Spa services $650. An excursion company $520. Total on my card $2,350, plus the $950 for bills. Total damage was $3,300. I stood up so fast my chair fell over. I started pacing. Sarah said, "Brian, breathe." I said, "They stole from me." They looked me in the eye and stole. Sarah asked what I was going to do. I stopped pacing. I said I was going to call them. I tried Mom, went to voicemail. I tried Dad, voicemail. I tried Jessica, voicemail. I tried David, voicemail. All four went straight to voicemail. They knew I knew. I typed in the family group chat. "Really, Bora Bora with my money. The money I sent for your electric bill." Messages showed delivered but no read receipts. I wrote, "I could see the charges on my card, you used my account." 30 minutes passed. Finally, Jessica responded. "Wow, stalking us much." I wrote, "Stalking, you posted it on Facebook." She said, "We deserved this trip, you refused to pay for it." I said I refused to pay for a trip without Sarah, and that money was for bills. David joined in, said, "Calm down, dude. It is just money." I said, "Just money. That is over $3,000. He said, "I made good money, I would be fine." I said that was not the point. He said, "Whatever, dude, be selfish then." He hung up. Mom finally joined. She said, "Brian, we needed this as a family, cannot you understand?" I asked what I understood was that they lied to me. They stole from me. She said, "Stole, we are family, family shares." I said, "Family does not lie about shutting off electricity to steal vacation money." Dad joined, told me to watch my tone. I asked her what he would steal more from me. Jessica said I was being so dramatic. I asked, did they even need that money for bills? Silence. I asked again, did you? Mom said they figured it out. I said, translation, you lied, you never needed bill money. Dad said they were not discussing this while on vacation. I said, of course not, enjoy your engagement celebration without the actual engaged couple. The next morning, Saturday, I had barely slept. Our kitchen table was covered in papers. My laptop was open. Sarah brought coffee, asked what I was doing. I said, building my case. She sat down, asked what case. I said I was done being the victim here. I created a folder titled Family Theft Evidence. I took screenshots of every Facebook post, downloaded them in full resolution. I screenshot all text messages since February. I screenshot the original email from Mom about needing bill money. I screenshot bank statements showing my $950 transfer on April 23rd with the memo for bills. I screenshot unauthorized charges from their trip. I created a timeline document with dates and amounts. I printed everything. Sarah said this is really thorough. I said I learned from the best. Monday morning I took a long lunch. I called my bank, said I needed to report unauthorized charges. The rep asked what charges. I explained the situation. She said they were authorized users, though. I said authorized for emergencies, not vacations. She transferred me to the fraud department. The fraud specialist asked me to tell her what happened. I laid it out with dates. She said they could investigate. Did I have proof they misrepresented their need? I said I had the email requesting bill money and Facebook posts proving they used it for Bora Bora. She said to send those to their fraud email. She would open a case. I asked about the charges. She said they could potentially reverse them. It would take 3 to 5 business days. I immediately removed all 4 family members as authorized users. I changed all passwords. I added 2-factor authentication. I created a new account and transferred most funds there. I left $500 in the old account in case the bank needed it for investigation. Tuesday afternoon, I left work early. I met with an attorney named Marcus Shaw, a friend of a friend who specialized in family law. He said, "Walk me through everything." I presented my evidence folder. He whistled, said, "This is pretty clear-cut deception." I asked if I could sue them. He said small claims court up to $10,000 I would be suing for the $950. I asked about the card charges. He said those were trickier since they were authorized users, but the fraud investigation might recover those. For small claims, I was looking at the money obtained under false pretenses, the bill money. I asked what I needed to do. He said file a claim. It was actually pretty simple, $200 filing fee. I would get a court date within 60 days usually. Bring all evidence. Judge makes decision same day. If I won, I got my money plus court costs back. I asked about chances. He looked at my evidence, said with this documentation I would say 90%. They literally texted they figured it out instead of needing the bill money. I said let us do it. Marcus said before we filed, he would send a demand letter. Professional courtesy. Sometimes that was enough to get repayment without court. The letter was sent Wednesday via certified mail. It detailed the false representation, demanded repayment of $950 within 14 days, noted that failure to pay would result in small claims. Filing mentioned potential criminal fraud charges, though I would not pursue those. Copies went to all 4 family members' addresses. Thursday, Mom called. I did not answer. Her voicemail said, "Brian, what is this letter you are threatening to sue us?" Friday, Dad left a voicemail saying this was insane, over $900. I texted back saying it was not about the amount, it was about the lying. Saturday, Jessica posted a Facebook status that did not name me but was obvious. When family betrays you over money, says a lot about character, with a broken heart emoji. I screenshot it, added it to my evidence folder. Sarah asked if I was sure I wanted to do this. I said they used my love for them as a weapon. They stole from me. They lied to my face. If I let this go, I was saying it was okay to treat me this way. Sarah said she supported me. I said this ends now on my terms. The first 2 weeks after the demand letter, no repayment came. Instead, there were attempted negotiations. Mom emailed asking if we could do $50 a month. I told Marcus they'd just spent $3,000 on vacation. He said exactly forward that to me. Marcus replied to Mom saying their Facebook posts suggested immediate funds were available, full payment or court. David tried calling, said, "Come on, man, be reasonable." I said I was being reasonable, pay what you stole. He said we are family. I said then act like it. 6 weeks later, it was a July morning at the municipal courthouse. I arrived with Marcus as my advisor. Small claims court does not allow lawyers to argue, so he was just there for support. My family showed up. Frank, Patricia, and David. Jessica was notably absent. She lived out of state and chose not to come. The waiting area was awkward. We sat on opposite sides. Mom looked exhausted. Dad would not make eye contact. David scrolled on his phone, avoiding the whole situation. The hearing took 15 minutes. Judge Martinez was presiding. I presented my timeline. Mom's email requesting bill money. My bank transfer showing payment. Facebook posts with dates showing the trip. Bank statements showing unauthorized charges. The judge asked Mom if she requested this money for utility bills. She said yes, but the judge asked, "Did you use it for utility bills?" She said, "Not exactly, but we." The judge said simple yes or no. She said quietly no. The judge asked, "Did you inform your son before using the money differently?" She said no, but the judge said thank you. He turned to me, asked if I had texts where they admitted this. I showed my phone with the "we figured it out" message. The judge said that was clear admission they did not need the money as stated. He ruled judgment for plaintiff. $950 plus $217 court costs. Payment due within 30 days or wages would be garnished. He hit his gavel. It was done. Mom was crying. Dad's jaw was tight. David said, "Bro, I cannot believe you actually did that." I said, "I cannot believe you made me have to." Extended family got involved. My Aunt Carol called, asking how I could sue my own parents. I asked if they told her they stole from me. She said they did not steal, they just. I asked, "What would you call it?" She sputtered and hung up. A cousin texted saying I was tearing the family apart. I said they tore it first. My uncle posted on Facebook that some people value money over blood. I commented saying some people value honesty, block them accordingly. I blocked 15 family members over 3 days. I kept only those who reached out privately to say they understood why I did it. That list had 3 people. A younger cousin, Frank's brother, who never liked Patricia, and one aunt I was always close with. Summer moved into fall. Garnishment started. David's paychecks got docked $50 per paycheck after he found a new job. He sent a bitter text each time saying thanks for the reminder. I blocked him too. Wedding planning continued with peace. Sarah's family fully embraced me. Her dad, Tom, said I did the right thing standing up for his daughter. Her mom, Linda, said I was the son they always wanted. They offered to pay for the rehearsal dinner. I teared up, said they did not have to. Tom said we want to. That is what family does. It was the first time I felt what healthy family love was. Without the stress of managing family drama, my work performance improved. I got promoted to senior engineer in September with a 15% raise. Sarah said, "See, good things happen when you set boundaries." I said I just wished it did not have to be this way. She said, "I know, but you cannot control their choices, only yours." Thanksgiving came. It was my first one without my family in 31 years. We spent it with Sarah's family instead. Big, warm gathering. Sarah's grandmother asked where my family was. Sarah's mom smoothly said they could not make it. Later, Sarah thanked me for not making it awkward. I said her family was my family now. Christmas was similar, peaceful but bittersweet. I saw Mom's Facebook post a family photo without me. The caption said, "So grateful for family who sticks together." I did not comment, did not react. I just closed the app. Sarah asked if I was okay. I said I would be. 6 months after the lawsuit in January, my phone rang. David calling. I almost did not answer. Finally, I said, "What?" He asked if we could talk in person. I was suspicious, asked why. He said because he owed me an apology, a real one. We met at a coffee shop. David looked different, thinner and tired. He said he had been in therapy. I said, "Good for you." He said the therapist asked him to map out family dynamics. It was eye-opening. He explained he realized our parents played us kids against each other. They used guilt as control. They made everyone think they owed something. He said what they did to me with the trip they had done smaller versions to Jessica and him for years. We were all just too deep in it to see. I asked why he was telling me this now. He said because he did not want to be like them, and because I was right about everything. It was the first genuine conversation we had in years. I asked where this left us. He said he did not know, but he wanted to try. We agreed to monthly coffee. No promises. Just trying. My wedding day came in September, 18 months after the proposal. The venue was a garden overlooking a lake. 90 guests attended. Sarah's entire family was there. From my side, only David sat in the back row quiet. Aunt Helen, Frank's sister, who always supported me, came. 2 cousins showed up. That was it. My side was noticeably small, but Sarah's side was full of warmth. When Sarah walked down the aisle with her dad, I teared up. Not sad tears. Grateful tears. She chose me every day. I chose her every day. That is what partnership is. At the reception, I gave a toast. I said, a lot of you know this has not been an easy journey. Building a family is not always about keeping the one you were born into. Sometimes it is about recognizing which people truly see you, value you, respect you. Sarah showed me what unconditional love looks like. Not love with strings attached. Not love that demands you shrink yourself. Real love. The kind that makes you bigger, better, braver. I looked at Sarah and said thank you for being my family when I needed to learn what that word really means. It has been almost 3 years since that Facebook post. Mom and Dad paid back the money through garnishment. It took 11 months. We have not spoken since the courthouse. Jessica sent a friend request last month. I have not accepted yet. David and I grab coffee every few weeks. We are rebuilding slowly. I learned that love without respect is just manipulation dressed up pretty. I learned that but they are family is not a reason to accept disrespect. I learned that sometimes the family you build is stronger than the one you were born into. I learned that setting boundaries is not cruel. It is necessary. Do I think about them every day? Do I miss them? The people they could have been? Yes. Do I regret standing my ground? Not even for a second. Because I am sitting here with Sarah, in the house we bought planning for the family we are building. And I finally understand what family really means. It is not blood. It is not obligation. It is not guilt. It is choosing each other. Every single day. Without conditions. Some families are born. Some are built. Mine is both now. Just not in the way anyone expected. So, let me ask you, have you ever had to choose between your partner and your family? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more real-life stories about relationships, family dynamics, and learning to set boundaries. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Maybe someone who is struggling with family pressure right now. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it helps you realize that choosing yourself and your partner is not selfish. It is survival. Take care of yourselves out there. And remember, real family lifts you up. They do not tear you down.